been banned out. You don't want picked up yet.
Well,
we know how
true.
strong it can be.
Okay. Yeah.
The Sora has been banned out a lot, right? I mean, for the past 2 games. Wait, past 2 games? Yeah, past 2 games.
The clouds are ever shifting.
There.
His heart
now even in the first.
steadfast.
Still no Sora for this one.
So now Joseph expects all the more Valentina should not show up.
Valentina should not show up, yeah.
See
First
value
pick
in me?
Liquid. Leomord,
You should.
still a very good choice. Can't go wrong. You don't have to go up against a Boxer. You don't have to go up against a Fred. If they want the mid lane prio and they don't want to allow you to do that again, they can go for surprise Juice in first pick.
Watch
It's
them
either
go
Juice in or Leomord for
I
me.
was going to say, watch him go Leomord.
I have an inkling that they'll just let the Grok through again.
And just try to deal with it.
Yep, the way they did in game 1.
And yeah, and if ever they go pick Juice in first, at least they don't have to worry about Juice and Grok together.
Yeah.
And I think that was also one of the biggest problems, that they had to go up against that specific pairing.
It's got to be one of the most deadly pairings.
It was oppressive.
Yeah, and then that early Skypiercer build up, because of the way the nature of the game went.
4 minutes.
Yeah, UA was going building stacks pretty quickly there. So this last ban, let's see what it's going to be from
Among the
RORA.
planes
It's going to be the
exists
Eve.
the equilibrium.
Eve is banned out.
I
Now,
was
do we
made
see the
for.
Leomord locked in here, or just the Jushin picked up?
Boring,
They'll
I
take
wish.
that. They get the utility
Guided
control.
by lantern's
They're willing
light.
to go ahead and trade here.
So at least they dismantle the duo.
Yeah.
They can give Rora, you know, the world at this point.
There was this weird tendency that I've been seeing. Sometimes you'd see a Gatot come in first 2. That's like a throwaway pick to just like, we need someone in the center of the map to hold on, great with trading, great control.
You don't want to commit to the Grok duo anymore.
Yeah. But I am still leaning towards just pick up the Grok instead, and then just see if you can try to replicate something like that with a different pick instead.
Okay. Well, let's see what this is going to be. They're taking their time here.
Valor and royalty.
Going to go ahead. They do grab. All right. Makes sense. Oh, wow. Makes sense. You get to yourself the Leomord. Now you got the Grok. It's worked for you.
That's a double front hook. They hold on to the Grok and they steal away Khaleesi's Leomord.
So I wonder, what do we see what do we see Carl Dizzy pick up this time? Because they also did the 2 bans on the utility junglers, right?
And it will soon be
So they'll take the Lapu Lapu.
They steal it away.
I remember the old theory before was,
Suyo.
okay, we go through the Suyo. I thought he was going to consider a Lucas, but then the Valentina still open. That would have been bad.
Yeah, no, in that case, the Valentina is just on you.
Yeah.
It's not even a laning situation thing anymore.
It's literally I am you. Thank you for giving me the... Oh my, I'm blanking out on the ultimate of the Lucas. Unleash Beast.
Unleash Beast, yeah. Unleash Beast.
So they get the mobility. They know that they're going to be physical damage focused. If RORA shows up with another magic damage dealer here, though, then it's going to be really tough for the Suyo. Usually one of the conditions for the Suyo is you're going only up against 1 magic damage source.
That's why even blue 2-3 is too soon for a Suyo sometimes.
Yeah.
What do you take here then? Like your mid lane? Do you go Barca? Do you go? They'll pick up an Arlot.
Yep.
Which was banned out in game 1? Game 1? Or game 2?
2. Oh, 1.
Game 1.
Yeah.
It was that last ban.
It was blue 5 ban.
Yeah.
Also very impressive here. Arlot, Grok, Leomord together.
A lot of crowd control.
Dashes, even though there's that old interaction, actually in recent memory, Arlot actually does well more against the Phoveus. Before it was instantly Phoveus beat Arlot lane, boo-hoo. Now it's Arlot doesn't care about Phoveus really. So they might, I mean, that is if ever we're going to see a crazy flex with the Lapu Lapu already there. They don't need to worry about that. I'm really just trying to pick up the mid lane here.
Yeah, gold lane too.
I only want to trade with $50 because that's all I have. You want to trade with $50? Are you crazy?
Because it's going to be narrowed down a little bit here for Dominkite as well as Daiki. You got Harith being banned out. You already had that Freya. We could just potentially see a Claude, like probably, maybe Dominkite grabbing the Claude on that red 4.
Yeah. Thought her a Granger, but I think the Granger might have a hard time if ever Carl Tizzy does get access to constant dive. So I'm just think of it in the team fight perspective. RORA, you know what they want to do. There's a lot of dive, which means that opens up for a mid and gold lane that are a little bit more artillery. Barca, Granger, like the really true
Sound
backliners.
rises when I give the word.
Oh, there's a Khalid ban. counts
got
into
him
his
lined up in my
options.
sight.
Red 3, red 4 and 5 has to be magic damage.
Yeah.
If RORA really want to punish that early Suyo.
Okay.
That's why they think of the... yeah, the Kimmy would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Because they could have gone for the Kimmy and Granger tandem. Would have been clear-cut, great lineup for RORA. So with TLPH blocking that, I'm still leaning towards artillery.
Yeah, Kimmy Granger's a classic.
Yeah. Unless... What if they bring out
he
the
got
Lunox?
dismantled.
Yeah.
Lunox where?
Lunox mid. And then you go
Lunox
for
mid
gold.
for Aurora.
So yeah, if Liquid ever decides to try and dive Brilliance, and then now you're risking yourself of just getting melted by the Shadow Assault.
I guess.
Which we have seen as a response to the dive center
Payback
lineups. But yeah, as we expected,
mentioned,
they lean towards the Farsa. And most like I am still leaning towards a Granger, or maybe even it's Dominkite's turn to play the Moskov, depending on the matchup in the gold.
Yeah, so just the Claude going to the hands of Daiki.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like even so, though, he's still going to have to be very careful of the positioning because of just how much it can be thrown at him from RORA. I'm talking about the Leo Moore light again on this, you know, one of his best heroes, the Grok, and now you throw an Arlot into the mix too. Yeah. It's going to be really crucial for Daiki's positioning.
And if I'm Liquid, steal the Moskov paired with a Gatot. You get Gatot Jushin in mid, you get the Gatot Moskov against the Farsa. Oh, they go carry. Okay.
The only thing that makes the carry a little dangerous is the fact that it's mid-range into the Farsa's burst.
Yeah. You're gonna hope you can get that motherfucking gun.
Yeah, get in there before you're taken out.
Yeah. Which is tough because if you got caught, I feel like into that feathered airstrike or even into any of the crowd control that can be thrown at you between the Arlot and the Grok is going to be very tough to deal with if you're the carry.
Yeah. Time came that the Gatot Kacha came through.
Oh, here we go again.
Needs to be said that re-engage your support for Liquid. Leslie gets picked.
Yep.
A debut for what I'd say.
When was the last time Leslie was picked?
Not just 2026, but even
2025.
a majority of 2025.
It was, I hope I'm remembering correctly, but there was a draft where it showed up in Asian games. I'm going to revisit that.
So
give me a moment.
This weekend, but that's outside of
MPL.
The traditional MLBB esports calendar.
Yeah.
RORA Hunters played
RORA
it.
Hunters.
Yeah.
And look how perfect it is. It's Aurora Gaming PH who takes it out.
Yeah. Ooh.
What was it up against? What was the Leslie up against?
Actually, RORA Hunters played it against Team Liquid Philippines. It lost, but
Okay.
it was up against a Lapu-Lapu, a Gatot, a Claude, Farsa, and a Frederick.
Okay, so it was up against the Claude matchup.
2 out of 5 the same heroes.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Leslie was not on my bingo card for game 3, day 1 here. But I love to see the changes happening in the gold lane. So Leslie comes into play in game 3. Welcome to Land of Dawn. Final game for this epic rivalry between TLPH and RORA.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how much of a menace Leslie is going up against her in our ranked games. Even though you know how or what you want to do to avoid making the most out of the kit of the Leslie, proccing those 2 really strong enhanced true damage basic attacks, it just hurts. And if it's a really good Leslie player, there's only so much that you can do. That's why you get the 2 roamers now in the gold lane to start.
Yeah, she's also relatively immobile.
Yeah.
Kind of telegraph where she wants to be, where she has to be, even with the Master of Camouflage. Daiki put down to 1/10 of his health, forcing an early revitalize from JP.
So everybody probably watching this at some point has played against a Leslie. And you know how difficult that lane is in the gold lane to be able to, and again, like Renmar mentioned, that's why you got the roams there. So I'm really looking at how Daiki's going to be able to go ahead and transition on this carry who's already, like we mentioned,
It's not an easy lane out to begin with.
the lane itself is not in your favor, but then even the team fights, like the disadvantage that you have with the range, of course,
Where do I go?
is, and that's the difficult part here. So Dominkite, on the other hand, is literally just going to continue to scale up and then just be taking people down, you know, a quarter of their health to half their health. Unless he flickers out.
That is a charged Queller to the face of Dominkite. All right. Safe to say, Carl TZ knows what he's up against. Again, it helps that the SEMO qualifiers saw a Liquid matchup against the Leslie just a few days ago.
Yeah. So maybe I wonder if that's Liquid now feeding Daiki information. No, do this. Okay, no, we gotta do this. We already went up against it and won.
Okay, with this, they're going to transition up to the objective. Turtles up. positioning right now for RORA to go ahead and take advantage of. This is also the fact that they have a feathered airstrike on their side. Light not level 4 yet, but still that wall is going to be tough to deal with, that rampart. They're going to fight for this half health on the turtle, though.
Feathered airstrike coming in from Yue, able to put up enough of a defense to take down JP.
Oh.
Carlteasy gets in there, takes the Lord. Demon Kite gets quelled here. And now Carlteasy just wailing away in immortality form. Edward in trouble! Katon gets taken down by Carlteasy.
Now this is the problem for RORA. Because of the two roamers going into the gold lane to support their gold laners, that left the Suyo and the Leomore to farm up. That could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But again, Carlteasy will continue to be aggressive because he only has to worry about the Farsa. The rest of the high damage of RORA comes from physical, something that, of course, Suyo still has defense against.
Yeah, Suyo still, again, the mobility of this hero is really what shines for a lot of the team compositions that play with it. And like I was saying before that turtle broke out, one of the main things that was missing there was having that tech charge available on the Grok. So they lose out to the turtle. They're not too far behind at all, right? They're still in a pretty good, even position on both sides, but I would say even so, for Daiki at least, he's in a little bit more fighting position to deal with Dominkite. He's just, again, got to play this lane correctly and farm up the way he needs to. Now, on that note, with Light being level 4 now, you can expect him to go ahead and try to set things up potentially. JP more so is on this kind of like, I'm going to babysit the lane if I have to. If I've got to go ahead and jump in or get that unbreakable taunt off, then that's great. I'm more of a peeler right now for this because TLPH's lineup has to scale up.
Yeah. So it's tough for Dominkite to be aggressive knowing that JP could show up at any time. And at the same time, Daiki is now in an even better position to be aggressive. Yes, ultimately the bigger chunks of damage comes out from Dominkite. If Dominkite's not careful, he's not going to be able to maximize the passive. Meaning that after chunking down the carry low, the carry pops up ultimate, has to flicker to dash forward, and Dominkite can just get burned down.
I miss this.
Yeah.
The younger Uchiha just a much faster farmer than Leomord.
How much ahead he is right now, too. So
Two
turtles
levels.
Up 2 levels. That's a big advantage right now against Demonkite to deal with. Again, space crucial here. Daiki can get spotted out by Dominkite on that extra brush here with this dangerous grass map. So still taking their time with it, though, just because they know they have to watch out for the initiation.
Crimson Beacon by Sanji, the answer. Pattern Steed from Demonkite. Down goes Light, the answer. Better airstrike. And still Liquid put their foot down. Dominkite taking down Sanford, and Carlteasy once again 2 for 2 on that turtle. Now Edward flickering on back. Carlteasy comes through. Katon once more. Down goes Edward. Carlteasy calling the shots. Dominkite takes down Yue and now attempting Grand Theft Purple. Demonkite still has a retribution. Oh, that's the momentum plus the retribution secures his own.
Yeah. Demonkite gets his own buff. Liquid. Great handling of the fights. Carlteasy, you see the gears turning in his head of timing the entry. And it was also a good thing that Liquid was the one that initiated that because Light was in a perfect position to surprise.
Demonkite 2v1 gets punished. Sanford, huge.
Big pickup there. That's what they needed. I think still, if you look at this, you're going to have to kind of deal with Dominkite sitting on 2 kills now with the Leslie. It'll be interesting to see what build path he goes here, too, especially for this, going against this kind of composition that TLPH has. But, yeah, right now they've got good early control, almost 2,000 up. Kind of just taking their time with the way they approach some of these fights, and just Carlteasy farming out of his mind on the Suyo. Oh, here's the focus.
Whoa! AOG, even underneath tier 1, you were saying, Joseph.
Hey, he doesn't have a flicker, but he's able to just kind of get out with the camo. So now he's got the support here. He's gonna spot out Sanji.
Ultimate snipe.
Yeah, they just want to hold this down.
Feathered airstrike, pushing back Daiki, who wanted to take down that turret. RORA able to save parts of the map.
Okay, good folks. Oh, look at the damage coming out of that Leslie. I know for a lot of people that might not seem like a lot, but that's a good healthy chunk. Daiki now focusing on the turret.
Oh, they're doing their best, their darndest to stop the push, because again, Dominkite needs the space. He needs this turret to stay.
Yeah. And good thing Light showed up at that time because they knew that Yue already used a feathered airstrike.
Yeah.
But Team Liquid could have just dove under the tower and take down potentially Yue and Dominkite, or just force out the flickers and get the tower. But with Light showing up, there was a risk that they could have gotten counter tech charge.
Whoa, Edward with a vengeance, another one. The answer, Crimson Beacon by Sanji. And down goes Daiki. Dominkite pops him. Headshot.
And he used the flicker too, so imagine how much pressure he dealt with. Protecting that tier 1 turret. Ends up getting a 3rd kill now for Dominkite. Fighting for this turtle. Look at the damage on Sanford. Just a couple pokes. They're going to go in with a charge.
Phantom Seed from a Demon Kite here. Helping serve up a kill, a 2-Yue. Called easy 3 for 3. Who's going to stop the goat? JP gets the spell wrap off of that, but Edward finishes him off. Aurora, despite the turtle getting taken away from them, win the trade.
Oh, he's got to be careful.
Leslie.
Dominkite, almost point blank.
Oh, Edward
taking down Carl.
Was that a
Not going to happen. Edward a little too deep. There was nowhere for him to go unless the flicker's up, though.
Yeah, I think they were trying to look for the trade. Edward probably accepted that he was going to get taken out. That's why he tried to go for the predictive final slash. But Karl-TZ got the sidestep it just in time, man. That was actually a great call by Edward to final slash there, not where Karl-TZ was going.
Crimson Beacon up, putting Dominkite right underneath Sanford's blade. The shutdown.
Oh, that's exactly what they needed. Finally getting that shutdown on Dominkite will make something happen here too, and I still have to point out the fact that Dominkite is so far behind in terms of Karl-TZ. Even in that levels, it's really not the best position to be in, but he can rely on the team to kind of help him stay into this game.
Karl-TZ is in Shippuden, while Dominkite's still a Genin.
I don't know the ranks, I'm sorry.
Same. But
Genin
I know
is like
what he's
episode 1, bro.
Yeah.
Shinobi? Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ninja.
I'll go for that.
We know who the Naruto fan is here.
Not me.
Hey, the thing is you kind of forget because you haven't seen Suyo too much in the previous seasons, just how fast he can farm up. And when you have this kind of lead, look at this, and even his itemization, the way he's building in, it's that finesse on the Suyo that works so well. The ability to farm up, but then kind of maneuver in and out of these team fights and find the right amount of damage on the right target.
The earliest I've seen Suyo actually be in demand was in the SEA Games in Thailand. And now he's a real threat, it seems like.
Ooh. Well, Sanford would try to commit the flicker, but okay, so Karl-TZ was way too far there at that time. It would have been too risky. So now, with a 4 level gap still, he's at 14 now, Karl-TZ, Dominkite still at 10. The crazy thing is, they're fine. Yu is deathless, his damage hurts. Dominkite, it hurts. And he debuts to Leslie once again after using her back in MPL Philippines Season 13, playoffs with Minana Evos? I completely forgot about that. Oh, that was the one where they picked the Leslie after the Yujong was picked.
Big oof.
Oh yeah, that was I remember that moment. Fight for the lore though, less than half, quarter of the health here.
Quick dodge and a blitz. Karl-TZ secures the turtle. Phantom Steed coming in, looking to punish whoever's on Dominkite in the back line, but it's too much, too little. Sanji takes down Edward, and even underneath their purple, in comes Dominkite takes out Sanford, and Daiki finds revenge on Dominkite. Sanji gets a double. The chef finds 2.
And that's unfortunate. He didn't have the flicker anymore, and he gets caught by the AOG. So RORA on the defense with 2 members, Dominkite and Light, to defend this bit of a push here to get these holy defensive down before that Lord makes its way down bot.
That's the rough thing about Aurora's Leslie pick. It worked out against them because that left Karl-TZ free to farm. Because of JP going down to the gold lane, that also called Light down to the gold lane, meaning that because of the speed between the two, Karl-TZ will just end up clearing the jungle way faster than Dominkite.
Unintentional dead lane for Aurora.
Yeah, there was no disruption from Aurora's side to try and stop Karl-TZ from getting farmed. And there was nothing stopping Karl-TZ from getting those turtles. He had to work for it, yes, but all 3 went there. And I think RORA was banking on them winning the turtle fights.
Well, their strike. They're trying to stop this penetration attempt from Liquid down bottom. JP very low, revitalized, keeps him alive. In comes Edward. Final slash displaces him, but JP is still up. Dominkite ends him, but a little too forward. Dominkite also does life, and Dominkite. Edward traded out for US down, and it's a wipeout. Stampede complete. Liquid have wiped out the M7 World Champions.
And like that, they're going to go into end of the series here with Game 3 under their belt. What a welcome for Daiki and TLPH.
Welcome to the home of champions, where even world champions crumble to the reigning champions of the Philippines. What an opener for Season 17.